Hello everyone. I'm Prabha, Senior Assistant Professor and working with Aditya Institute of Technology and Management. This course is all about learning how to learn, how learning can be made easier and interesting. So before we come to learning, it is very important for us to understand three things. The first one is procrastination, two, memory, and three is sleep, which are the main functions of learning. So let me start with procrastination. Generally, any human being, or keep it to me, why do I procrastinate? Because whenever I start something, I feel I don't want to do it or I don't like doing it. Sometimes I hate doing it or I hate studies. So, what we do? We funnel attention onto a more pleasant task. Might be a Facebook or a WhatsApp or Instagram, any social networking, or sometimes just laying down. Temporarily, we might feel happy, but on a longer run, the procrastinate cycle. What happens? We feel guilty. Oh, I could have done this work. We panic. And if someone is asking about the work completed, we make excuses. One of the most important technique which is proven for learning is Pomodoro technique. Here there is a Pomodoro wherein which you set a time for 25 minutes, ensure all the study material is at the desk, don't get up for 25 minutes, no interruption, keep your phone away, switched off, focus only on the study material which you are learning, and after 25 minutes reward yourself. Might be a cup of coffee or a tea. Remember, this might sound difficult, but practice makes permanent. Remember that a strong will is important to avoid procrastination. Simple thing, keep a planner journal, commit yourself for certain routines and tasks each day. Delay rewards until you finish the task. Watch for the procrastination cues. Gain trust in your new system. Have backup plans when you still procrastinate. Eat your frog first. Very important, I repeat. Eat the frog first. Complete the most difficult task which you feel is impossible. Complete it. You'll feel relaxed. You'll feel happy. You will have a new motivation to complete your everyday task. Second important function which plays a vital role is memory. In learning, we have short-term memory. We learn by heart, put it on an answer sheet and forget, which is not important. Remember, building strong neural structure a little every day is necessary. Recall, rehearse every day. You can build a long-term memory, which you will never forget. Learning something difficult takes time. Long-term memory. Whenever we recall a memory, it changes, which is called reconsolidation. We can even implant false memory. It's better to study over time instead of all at once. Create a meaningful groups and use a memory palace technique. Call to mind a familiar place and use it as a visual notepad. Visually store things in that place. This makes it easier to remember things. Lastly, the most neglected thing which helps in learning is sleep. Remember, sleep and a very pleasant sleep is important. Sleeping allows the brain to wash away metabolic toxins. It allows our brain to strengthen important parts of memory even as it erases less important memories. Sleep also allows our brain to rehearse difficult material. It makes a remarkable difference in your ability to figure out the difficult problem to understand. And the best example for apt use of sleep is Mr. Thomas Alva Edison. Though we know him as he used to sleep hardly for 3 to 4 hours every day, but whenever he was stuck with a problem, he used to hold few marbles in his hand and just go into a sleep mode. And when the marbles fell down on the floor, he used to wake up and continue his study, which shows that he made a prompt use of his sleep mode in his learning. It's time to end the part 1 of learning how to learn. Practice Pomodoro technique. Happy learning.
Hello, I am Prabha and welcome to the second session of learning how to learn. In the previous session, we learnt about procrastination, memory, and sleep. Hope you are practicing Pomodoro technique. Remember, practice makes permanent. Last session, we ended with an example of how Edison used to sleep. That's the best example of how any one of us can control our thinking pattern. There are two modes of our brain. First is the focus mode, where we concentrate. There is a fixed neural path. And second is the diffuse mode, where the brain is more relaxed, and in this mode we develop new neural paths. Okay, in simple sense, focus mode is when we are trying to find a solution to a problem, example a math problem or algorithms, and you are unable to find a solution. Then we leave that problem for a few minutes, relax, and if time permits, just take a power nap, which exactly was followed by great personalities like Thomas Edison or Salvador Dali. Then you look into the problem. After few seconds or few minutes, you get a solution, and that's for sure. Remember, make apt use of diffuse mode is very important to go into the focus mode. Focus mode allows the mind to recognize familiar patterns. Problems related to these patterns are easily solved. It works in a sequential way, step by step. And to increase the memory power, metaphors provide powerful techniques for learning. Remember, to go into the focus mode, first of all, we have to allow no distractions. Keep your mobile phones turned off. Do not sit next to your best friend. Try to follow the lecture. Take notes of the key points. Try to connect what's being said to other things you already know. And end of the lecture, write a brief summary of main points covered. Remember, recalling whatever was done in the lecture is very important part of creating a long-term memory. Every day once you come back home, it is very important for us to read the same day, underline, make summaries, prepare mind maps. Reading again and again on the same day or by hearting things is not the answer. When you do this, there is an illusion of competency. It is as equal to overconfident. We feel as if the material becomes familiar, we gain fluency. There is a feeling we already know the material. In fact, we do not know. There is always a better way of doing things. Recalling every day is very important. Use focus mode during lecture. Once you come back home, review your notes later that day. Practice and test yourself, which is very important. And in the evening, if possible, go for a walk or use diffuse mode. So using diffuse mode always is not necessary going to sleep, but you can go for a long walk, go for a run or exercise. Just relax and listen to music. Every moment, our brain uses this diffuse mode in a productive manner. Revision allows the information to find a place in the large store of long-term memory, which is called chunking. So to form chunking, we have to use focused attention, understand the problem, and the more important is to practice every day. In a simple form, if I want to remember a number, I divide the number into 3 or 4 small units and remember it. So we are nothing but practicing chunking. Chunks can help you to understand new concepts through a process called transfer. After rigorous practice, when a new chunk is formed, these chunks are placed something like in a hanger, which is called long-term memory. So there is a study by Science Express wherein which it shows that by simply practicing and recalling, students learn far more than much deeper level. Reviewing your notes later at the night, especially before you go to bed, also plays a vital role. There is a top-down chunking wherein which you have to look at a big picture. Simple thing is, before you go into depth, recollecting the side headlines or just going through pictures in the textbooks also is important. And there is a bottom up chunking where practice and repetition can help you both build and strengthen each chunk so you can easily gain access to it when needed. Remember, bottom up chunking helps in learning theories, learning application, applying theory, and when you top down chunking, it helps in research and knowledge intuition. Here we have come to the end of session 2 of learning how to learn. To recall, we have learned in depth about focused and diffused mode and how long-term memory can be formed with practicing and forming small chunks. Before we end the session, I would like everyone to practice focused mode by just counting 1 to 100. But ensure you don't think anything while counting. Even a simple thing like Prabha madam told us to count. If you do so, restart counting numbers. This is the best way to increase your concentration and control your pattern of your mind. Thank you. Hello, I am Prabha and we are learning how to learn. In the previous session, we learned in depth about focused and diffused mode. How to use diffused mode aptly so that we can focus and improve our concentration. I hope you are practicing the counting of 1 to 100, which is very important to improve our concentration. The key of learning is using metaphors to remember. Connect the word which you want to remember with something different and odd. The principle of learning is read, underline, make summaries, and prepare mind maps. We have also learned about how chunks are formed, and in this session we will be learning in depth of how habits are formed and what acts as a neuromodulator in our brain. The habits have 4 parts. First, the cue, that is the location and the time. Second, the routine, how you respond to your habit. Third is the reward. Habits develop and continue because they reward us. It gives us an immediate little feeling of pleasure. The belief, last one, that I will never be able to change a habit. Make a simple change in your habit. That is, focus on the process, not on the product. It is as simple as don't focus on the math problem which is very difficult, but focus on how you are going to learn it. This simple change in the habit will make you learn new things easily and comfortably. Writing the next day's task list before you go to sleep will help you to be able to complete the items on your task list the next day. This is a very important point in our day-to-day life. If you do so, you will be able to have a peaceful sleep and wake up early so that you can complete the task which you have made a list the previous night. So what forms these habits? Let us go into depth. There are certain neuromodulators in our brain which help us to form these habits. To learn in depth about our learning pattern and how our brain works, it is very important for us to learn more about our neuromodulators in our brain, which actually plays a key role in our memory power and the learning pattern. The first thing is acetylcholine, which affects focused learning and attention. Dopamine signals in a relation of unexpected rewards, and serotonin affects social life and risk-taking behavior. Acetylcholine neurons form neuromodulatory connections to the cortex that are particularly important for focused learning when you are paying close attention. These acetylcholine neurons project widely and activate circuits that control synaptic plasticity, leading to new long-term memory. What we eat plays a vital role in maintaining acetylcholine. Choline is an essential nutrient and a building block of acetylcholine. Foods that are naturally high in choline include whole wheat eggs, meat, fish, and whole grains. Studies suggest that consuming foods or supplements rich in choline may elevate levels of acetylcholine in brain and which increases our memory power. The second neuromodulator is dopamine. Dopamine neurons become active when we get unexpected reward, and activating dopamine neurons in response to a certain behavior mimics the effect of an unexpected reward, positively reinforcing that behavior. Remember, there is a study by Simons Foundation which has shown that when we reward for each and every activity, the student or the child tend to not doing things in a longer run. So there was a study in America wherein which 30 students were kept in a room and they were given rewards for each and every helping activity they did. And in a longer run, they dropped helping each other. But there was a second set of 30 students in a classroom where they were not rewarded regularly. But yes, they were rewarded unexpectedly, or there were surprises for the students if at all they did few things. In these cases, students tend to help or do the activities more rigorously and happily and completed the task. The last neuromodulator of a brain is serotonin. Serotonin is a chemical that has a wide variety of functions in the human body. It is sometimes called a happy chemical because it contributes a well-being and happiness. There are very simple methods of increasing serotonin, but we actually don't do, or sometimes we never do. Try to go into the sunlight, having an aerobic exercise, running, biking, swimming, and studies have proved that even yoga have a impact on increasing the serotonin levels in our brain. Remembering happy events, it might sound odd, but remembering positive moments in your life does increase serotonin, and remembering negative moments decrease it. Here comes the end of session 3. In this session, we have learned in depth about neuromodulars and how we can increase the presence of neuromodulars and hence increase the learning power and the memory power. Thank you. Hello, I am Prabha and we are learning how to learn. In our previous session, we have learned about how neuromodulators in the brain helps in learning and how we can naturally increase them. In this session, we will be learning things to avoid during learning. The first thing we need to do is avoid overlearning. Be sure practicing a piece of information over and over during the same learning session, even after you have mastered it, that is to recall perfectly. Studies have proved that if at all we are trying to recall or by heart the same thing the same day, that will in fact reduce our learning power and we are not adding it to the long-term memory. Hence, if at all we are preparing for the examination, it is very, very important for us to learn at least from a month or 15 days well in advance so that we can recall the same piece every day instead of practicing or by hearting it on the same day. Second thing we need to ensure is chalking. Chalking is abnormal eating behavior and a serious hazard. For many adults with learning disability, studies establishes many of the characteristics associated with swallowing problems in this population. The major problem during learning is interleaving. Okay, let me start with an example. In the class, your teacher might have taught you a method to solve problem and gave the remaining as homework. And while solving, we look at the homework problem left, right, straight and try to recall the classwork problem. This is interleaving. Interleaving is nothing but a subject mastery strategy of learning that deliberately jumps back and forth between the problems or situations within the same subject or piece of information that actually requires a different technique or strategies to learn or recall or solve, and miss to space it properly and get confused. The last thing we need to avoid during learning is Anstellung effect. Anstellung is a German word meaning roadblock installation. The existence of already known information or process and its neural pathways block the laying down or encoding of new, different and possibly different way or solution. Always ensure the way learning is important, unlearning is also important. In a longer period of time, whatever we might have learned might not necessarily be perfect at that particular situation. So unlearn to learn new things is Anstellung. Here comes the end of learning how to learn. In the whole session, we have learned about focused versus diffuse mode, thinking, practicing, chunking, repeating, summarizing. And always remember, law of serendipity. Lady luck favors the one who tries. Learning is not an easy task, but definitely a little bit of hard work and bit by bit and step by step work will definitely help you to attain your goals in your education. Thank you so much and happy learning.